Hello, I'm Gavin, and today I'll see us taking a look at The Disaster Artist. If you haven't seen my review of The Room, the film which The Disaster Artist is about, I'd strongly recommend watching that first, and I'll leave a link in the description below. In the meantime, let's begin. So, the film was produced and directed and stars James Franco, one of a number of parallels which can be drawn with its subject film, which I'll try to steer clear of. And it was based on a book by Greg Sesteros, close friend of Tommy Wiseau and co-star of The Room. Not having read the book, but broadly aware of its subject matter, I was slightly sceptical of how this would translate to the big screen. In my humble opinion, books tend to lend themselves more to realism. Increasingly these days, with the budgets that are going into film, we're seeing the best films as fantasies, or sci-fis, or just generally stuff that wouldn't really happen in everyday life. And while, in some senses, this is a crazy story, it is one that could, and did, actually happen. So I was impressed with how the film managed to convey upon us the importance and magnitude of what was happening. When Greg, a young actor played by James Franco, decides to up sticks and move to LA with no real plan in mind of what he's going to do, the film really impresses upon us that this is a big deal. It's a risk in his life, which of course it would be in real life, but in many films this would be the sort of thing that would just be touched upon in passing, another actor moving to LA. But no, it feels like an adventure, and that's the case throughout the film actually. Everything that's going on, we really get ourselves caught up in it, with what is essentially just the making of a film, which to some people might be dull, but no, it was impressive. James Franco was really the mastermind behind the whole film, and he put in an unbelievable performance as Tommy Wiseau. Anybody who's seen The Room, or even any interviews with Tommy, will know that he's a unique character to say the least. He's almost like an alien. Well, actually, in the film, he says that he's from a different planet. So, evidently, this wasn't your run-of-the-mill acting role for James Franco. But he did excellently. He got Wiseau down to a T. I think it was the voice really was the big thing. You could tell he'd spent a lot of time working on and perfecting that, because they sounded scarily alike. Similarly, while Franco did a really good job of actually managing to portray Wiseau, the film itself has to be commended for managing to tell his story, or what they could have, given that he's a very mysterious man. As the film itself makes light of, nobody knows where he's from, how old he is, or how he got the money which presumably was used to make The Room. He's never told anyone any of this stuff. God knows why. So, as you can imagine, that's quite a tricky and different task for a director and scriptwriter, etc. But I think they dealt with it in the right way, making fun of this mystery, and in the end it didn't impact at all on the overall narrative. I don't think they could have just dealt with it the same way that the book did either, given that this wasn't really from Greg's viewpoint as such. So this is one area in which they had to take their own spin on it. Like I say, I haven't actually read the book, but I've seen The Room, and I'd definitely say that this does it justice. I'd 100% recommend watching The Room before you see this. It's not vital, of course, but there are quite a lot of in-jokes which are funny, worth getting, and you'll only get them if you've seen The Room. This is a comedy, but it's one with a lot of depth, and it's very heartwarming. It's a 7 out of 10 for me. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.